Oh, see?
Oh shit, here we go. Fuck, well.
Start of the vlog.
My name's Tyler.
I'm Lucas. We're here and we're starting this because...
Well, where are we?
Huh?
We're at Hollywood Park Casino. God damn it. All right. We're at Hollywood Park Casino. About to play the 300-500 buy-in.
Yeah.
5-5 small big blind.
Why are we starting this, Tyler?
Because I have nothing going on.
I have not enough going on, and we're on a downswing. So what's a better time to put yourself under the lights? I honestly think it'll make you play better.
And or run better, too.
I won't fold the winning hand. Backtrack a couple days ago.
No, we'll cut that later.
Yeah.
I got to piss, so we got to cut this intro now.
Let's get this.
All right, very first hand of the vlog, very first hand of the session, actually. I sit down, immediately get dealt pocket fives under the gun, and I open up to 20. I get 3 callers, and the flop comes ace, 9, 5, 2 clubs, immediately running good, flopping a set with a flush draw on an ace high board, so looking to get some action here. I bet $40, and the button raises to 100, and at this point, it is music to my ears, and just figuring out how to get all the money in. And I think the best way right now is just to call, keep all his bluffs in, and don't want to scare any aces that he has that he just decides to raise here. So I just make the call, and the turn is a 7 of hearts. I check, and the button quickly bets $200, and with only 400 behind in my stack, I think the easiest thing to do now is to rip it all in. That's exactly what I do. Button snap call, so honestly not too sure what we have to avoid. But the river is a king of clubs completing the front door flush, but the button shows 9-5 offsuit for flop 2 pair to my set. So very first hand of the session, we're gonna double right up, and hopefully that's a sign of good things to come of this vlog. All right, so in this next hand we have queen jack offsuit. There are a couple limps to me, and I raise it to 25. This might be a little small, but I was distracted in filming my hands and taking notes that I just put 25 out there, but as played, put 25 out there, and under the gun makes the call. So we're going heads up to a flop of jack 4-5 all clubs. So flopping top pair with a queen, but having no club in my hand, I put out a bet of $30 to charge any one club holdings that the opponent might have, and he makes the call. So the turn's a weird one. It's the queen of clubs giving us top 2, but obviously the 4th club is now on the board, and when he checks, I check it right back. Obviously just want to get the showdown with no flush here. And the river is a 4 of clubs, so now we just play the board, and when he leads out for 65, I can't do anything but fold. So we're going to lose this medium-sized pot here, and on to the next hand. All right, sticking with me for this hand once again, because Luke's card dead. But we have ace-queen offsuit in the hijack, and we open it to $20. And the cutoff, who I perceived as someone who was 3-betting at a very tight range. He wasn't really 3-betting as a bluff too often. He 3-bets me at 80. And with ace-queen offsuit, I tend to want to 4-bet as a bluff, especially when I'm out of position, because I don't want to go post-flop out of position with hands that might dominate me, such as ace-king and aces and things like that. But with this particular player who 3-bet me, like I said, I didn't think he was 3-betting light. So this time I decided to make the call and realize some of my equity on the flop. But when the flop comes king, jack, jack, rainbow, don't really have anything to work with here. So I check it, and the cutoff surprisingly checks back. So we're off to a turn, which is a 7 of diamonds. And once again, it goes check, check. And when the river comes a 5 of diamonds, I think I could take a stab here, and because I think all his ace-king holdings and any holdings with the jack would have bet by now would not have checked twice. So I take a stab of $75, and he debates for a little bit, even says that it's a bluff, but he can't call, and he folds. So we get the bluff through here, and our stab works on the river. So the very next hand, we have ace-jack offsuit, and we open to $20, and the same guy who 3-bets us last hand does it again, but this time to 50, and he says it's a misclick. I actually do believe him because he looked a little distracted because I think he was like ordering food or something like that. For the same reasons as ace queen, I do like to 4-bet ace jack offsuit as a bluff, But also for the same reason as last hand, I decide to just flat here. And when the flop comes 10-8-5 rainbow, I check it over to him and he bets 50. This 10 high board connects with me as the caller pre-flop. So after he bets 50, I'm gonna put in the check raise to 150. And some pretty funny table talk happens here saying that I'm gonna bluff him again. And I actually do, and he folds, and we get the second bluff through on the same guy, back-to-back hands. So getting the bluffs through here early, hopefully we can keep it up throughout the session.
So here's my first hand, fast forward 2 hours later of being extremely card dead. We pick up king 5 of diamonds on the button, and there's a straddle on. 4 calls to me, and I just complete. We're going straight to a flop, queen jack 9, 2 diamonds. I think the big blind leads out here for $20. Pretty small sizing, given the pot's about 70 right now. Under the gun, repops it immediately to $50. And it folds to me, and with king 5 of diamonds here on the button, I'm in position. Have a lot of equity. There could be a lot of flopped pairs, straight draws, all kinds of things. 2 pairs, straights even, which I'm pretty worried about. So I'm not really trying to raise here. I'm just trying to see a turn and hopefully hit my diamond, so I call. And unfortunately, big blind rips it all in, whole stack in. Don't believe this takes me all in, but under the gun, he snap folds, so his raise was pretty much just seeing where he was at, and I'm over here tanking, and I just think the fold is the right play to make here. On to the next. So our next playable hand is king queen off. Hijack opens to 15, low jack 3 bets to 30, super small sizing, and then the button right behind him, he calls. And I'm in the big blind with king queen off, and with such a small sizing and a caller, there's so much dead money out there. We got 15, 30, 30, so we got about $75 of dead money. So I'm gonna size up pretty big here, out of position with king queen off. I'm not really trying to see a flop multi-ways and act out of position. So I size up to around 4x plus the dead money, so 170. So original opener tanks, 30, he folds, and other guy snap folds. They all gave me respect because I haven't opened for a while. So we're under the gun. We finally pick up a premium. Pocket kings. Let's go. Easy money. Small blind call, or actually, yeah, it folds all the way around small blind. Thankfully, they call, and then the big blind also calls. We go to a pretty dry looking flop. Good flop for kings. Queen 3-2 offsuit, or rainbow, sorry. And checks to me. C-bet. Everyone folds. Good game, right? Can't make any money when we get the good hands. All right, so here we got an interesting hand. I like this hand a lot. At this point of the night, I think it's 5-handed. A bunch of people got up to eat. We still got some maniacs at the table, just not picking up cards. For this hand, there's a straddle on. We got 1 caller from under the gun, and I look at ace-7 offsuit in the small blind. So 5-handed, definitely raising this up. A lot of dead money out there. Raise up to 60. Got to size up. We get only the straddler to call. So flop comes out 3-5-6. Straddler checks to me. I don't see any reason in checking here. It doesn't really favor my range at all whatsoever, so I check it back. Turn comes a gin looking 4, so we have the second nuts right now on a rainbow board. He checks to me again. I bet a third of the pot, $45, and we get a quick call actually. River, not sure if this is a good card or a bad card, but we get a 2. A deuce coming on the river. Assuming he could have any ace. I mean, there's a straight out there already, but he's going to check to me. And once it checks to me, I'm not sure if betting small will work at all. So I think it's either a polarized bet or nothing. So I go for a huge bet. I bet 250 actually into a pot of 240. So a nice overbet, and he tanks forever. I mean, minutes on minutes. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to look at the board like I'm fucking dead inside. And unfortunately, we do not get the call this time. He folds and shows an ace, which doesn't really mean anything because there's already a straight out there, but no value to be had there. Here comes pain, bro. I can't believe I'm going to fucking talk about this hand, bro. So leading up to this hand, unfortunately, we have not been getting things going. Not making value, not picking up hands, not really getting involved. Multiple times I've 3-bet folded to jams. People are pretty active at this table. Just been one of those nights, but here we go. We pick up pocket queens. another premium. Hopefully this doesn't go like the king's hand. 3-bet the under the gun open from $20 to $65. Small blind, he's been pretty inactive, honestly. I would put him as a pretty tight player. So when he's 4-betting me, I'm thinking pretty strong. But given the stack depth and my holding specifically, I have maybe 80 or 90 bigs here. I'm ripping it all in. And of course we get snap called by aces. So king high board comes out. As you can see, no set to be made and pushing the chips that way. So after getting stacked, we chip up again. Chip lady comes nice and quick. Great, we got more chips to play with. We pick up ace queen. Under the gun, I'm going to open this one up to 20. The under the gun 1 calls and then folds around to the button, who's a very active player, and he's 3-bet folded, 4-bet folded, snap folded multiple times. He bumps it up to 90. After the button 3-bets to 90, being such an active player, folds back around to me, and I'm honestly going to put in a 4-bet here as a bluff just because ace-queen offsuit out of position doesn't really play well. And if he does have a good hand, I don't want to be post-flop with him. And then if he has a bad hand, I want to take down the dead money now because he's one of those players we can take advantage of there. So when I jam here, 4-bet jam here for my stack, mostly as a bluff. We're not really doing this for value. We're hoping for folds. But of course we get snap called by kings, and that was just the name of the game this session. Run into people's top of the ranges, not really making hands, folding a lot, card dead. Not too many mistakes to be made. The king 5 of diamonds hand was a so-so hand. Didn't really know if I should be calling off there or just be folding. A couple hands that weren't caught on video because of battery, unfortunately, but I flopped 2 sets with 7s and 8s. No value, really. Someone would c-bet on the flop, and we'd repop it on a pretty draw-heavy board, and we'd get snap folds. So no good for us, and gonna have to book this loss.
All right, so we're back with me for the last hand of the vlog, and at this point, it's pretty late in the session, and from my peak of the first hand, I've lost a lot of medium pots, and my stack is only maybe at $500, so lost a lot of the profit by just losing medium-sized pots, to be honest, and not picking up any cards for a long time. But finally, pick up a playable hand on the button, ace-6 of clubs. There's an open from under the gun +1 to 20, and I decided to get a little frisky here and 3-bet to 65. And the small blind calls, but the initial raiser makes the fold, so a little weird there. But the flop is queen, jack, 7 with 2 clubs and a heart, and the small blind decides to lead for 125. So obviously with the nut flush draw, I can't go anywhere just yet, but not really sure on what the small blind could be leading here. I guess he could have a queen or a jack or some type of middling pocket pair that he decides needs protection against the flush. Or he could have a open-ended straight draw that, once again, just decides to take a stab at it. This particular pair was getting pretty splashy, and he had some live tells of talking a lot during the hand whenever he was weak, which is something he was doing this hand. So the turn doesn't come a club yet. It's the 4 of hearts, and he bets the same amount he did on the flop, so 125 again. And I debate just ripping my stack in here because if he has a made hand, might as well get it in here before the draws come in, which would prevent me from getting paid. I could just take down the pot right here, especially since, once again, he's talking a lot during the hand, saying he's strong, and he's been doing this throughout the whole session, and every time he's done it, he's had absolutely nothing. But as played, I do end up making the call, which I think is a mistake. I think shoving here would be the best play and getting value when I do hit the draw or taking the hand down right here. But as played, I make the call, and the river is a 6 of spades, so we improve in a weird way. We make a pair, don't hit the nut flush, and he bets $125 again. Now, at this point, he's been talking the whole hand. I really perceive him as weak, as a misdraw or ace high or an open-ended straight draw that also missed. So I sit here and tank for a while, and after doing the math, I only need to be right 18% of the time against his tightest holdings that include aces and kings that didn't 4-bet pre-flop. So against those type of holdings, I have 25% equity, and given the price, I only need about 14% to call. So I put in the call, and he says queen jack offsuit for top pair, and we lose a big one here, really putting a dent into our stack. And I'm also gonna have to book this loss because it's late and decide to want to get out of here.
Well, it's 3 in the morning.
Well, it's 3 in the morning. What time do we start? Start at 10, so like a 5-hour session.
Started off so good for me. Doubled up the very first hand, as you guys saw. Then after that, I just was losing the medium-sized pots. And then just was card dead, honestly.
I was card dead for like the first 2 hours, actually. Then I finally started picking up hands, won a few pots, got back up to even, and then got it all in, queens versus aces.
Like, I knew he was strong as hell. I just hoped you were strong, too. I mean, you were strong, but like...
I knew he was, I knew he was strong, too. It was just after the match, I tried to rationalize it, but like, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever folding queens there. And like, I can't flat. Battled back a little bit at the end. Finished off like minus 900, I think.
I was around 800 this whole night.
Yeah.
After I flopped the set. And then the last... Oh, yeah. And then just lost medium
like
pots.
2 hours, you just got milked, man. Rough night for the boys. First vlog. Keeping it real with you guys.
What, minus 900, minus 360?
Yeah, not a good night at all. It's been the name of the fucking game recently.
Yeah, honestly it is.
But welcome to the journey of two aspiring poker players. Shit, man. Might have to find a new hobby. Who knows? We'll see.